You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
host of Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com with questions, comments, concerns, and so on. Ulises, for the first time in a while, we do not have a guest today or this week, as far as I know. So it's just you and I going at it this week and for the foreseeable future, at least as far as I know.
Yeah, no interviews are planned as of today. Mm-hmm. So you guys are going to have to endure the old type of banter that you've grown accustomed to. So it should be fun because we're going to talk about something everybody loves to talk about, Kevin. Every Rays fan loves to talk about Stadium Saga stuff, Split City stuff. Guess what? That's what this episode's all about.
The Split City plan is dead.
Oh, yeah.
It's over with.
Get it out of here. God, it feels so good to say that. It feels so good.
Yeah.
Because for so long, we were, at least I was, I'm not going to talk about more people than I, but for a long time, I was like, this is a ploy. This is a ploy. And then it kept going.
Right.
So, but I was like, no, this is a ploy. But then the doubt started to creep up on me like, holy crap, are they actually?
I mean, it's been 2.5 years that they were singing this tune.
So, like, you know, I got scared. I was like, man, are we really going to lose the team that we love? And then after around midsummer, I was like, okay, this ain't happening. Because if you're listening to the podcast, which I know a lot of you are religious, and we really thank you for always being there. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, by the way. Samson, Poche, Goldstein. All of these people that are in baseball, entrenched in baseball, just kept saying, not going to happen. This is ridiculous. So that actually then got me back in the, okay, it's just a ploy, and now it's dead.
Right. Now, I will say this, not to be a Debbie Downer, but just because the Split City plan is dead does not necessarily mean that the Rays are going to be playing in Tampa Bay for generations to come. That still has to be worked out at some point. Personally, I think it is going to happen. I think they will set foot in Ybor City, and they'll have a spring training site or a complex of sort in Pasco County, and we'll all be a happy family, and we won't have to make that drive to St. Petersburg for anything really, except for beautiful beaches. So I'm excited about that prospect, but we're not quite out of the water yet.
No, and I understand both sides of. God, this is such a middleman thing to say. I understand both sides, but not really. Like the people.
What are you, an independent? Right? Are you a centrist?
How moderate are you, Ulises?
Those aren't around anymore. Those don't exist. You're either extreme one way or extreme the other way.
That's right. It's like the species, an endangered species, moderates. But I understand the people that really were celebrating the Split City being dead. I understand that because it's good that that's not happening.
Right.
But the people that were also like, guys, this isn't actually good news at all. Like, it's not them staying. That doesn't mean that they're staying.
Yeah.
I understand that too. So I think I'm in the middle. Like, I think we should be happy that the Split City is not happening. But again, let's see a little bit more commitment from the ownership, because all we got was Stu Sternberg facing kind of, he faced the music for an hour with the reporters asking questions. And for the most part, he was, I think, candid. Yeah. And I think for the most part, wasn't too much of a politician. There were a couple of politician answers.
Right.
But we got that. And then we also got a 15 to 20 minute podcast with Solons. And
I did not listen to that. You got to like lay the land on that one, because I wasn't touching that episode. I wasn't pressing play on that thing. I'm sorry.
Neil Solons has got the most. That was awkward.
He gets paid by the Rays. Okay, in fairness, that is who signs his contract. That is, if they if they gave us what Neil Solondz is getting paid by them, we would be singing the same tune.
And you know what? I'm telling you, like, it was just like a awkward one shot of them three, and he like going microphone to Silverman, microphone to Ald, and it was
Oh, he didn't have Sternberg on?
No. This was like an hour or 2 hours after Sternberg, so it was just Ald and Silverman in a one shot, and you see Solondz in the middle. It screamed awkward, get me that bleep out of here atmosphere. And so that's all we got as Rays fans. The Stu Sternberg presser, then that podcast with the video. And there was no mention of 100% we're looking to stay in Tampa. We 100% think it's likely that there's the population, the corporate support to have a stadium that can fulfill 81 games. We didn't hear that. Are we going to hear that? So that's what the other side of the lane that people are saying, why am I going to celebrate the split city being dead if that doesn't mean that they're here? I get that. They haven't said 100%, oh, this means we're staying.
Yeah. And it's smart for them not to do that because they want to play their cards right and leave all options open. Yeah. I think ultimately that's what's going to happen, but we can't make that prediction as of right now. By the way, you mentioned the Stu Sternberg press conference. It was entertaining. I enjoyed. Look, I actually think all the stadium and the being cheapness, all the stuff that people say about Stu Sternberg, I get it. I understand nobody's going to be a fan of a billionaire owner. It's just not in the cards. But
right.
I actually kind of think he's personable, and I think I would legitimately enjoy having dinner with him and just hearing from him and talking to him, because he seems like if you just sat him down and talked one-on-one and forget the fact that he's filthy rich and everything, I actually think he'd kind of be an entertaining dude to be around with. But that press conference was a disaster as far as the technological end of things.
We've been using Zoom since March 2020, people. Get it figured out.
They
Unmute, mute. It's not that difficult. Video on, video off.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we've been doing this for 2 years now.
I know.
Let's get it together.
Yeah. And they let some people on there. The fact that they don't let us on there is kind of ridiculous, because they let some people on there that, from what I understand, were cursing in the background and saying expletives. And God, it was so bad. Like at that point, I know COVID's still a thing, but just set up Sternberg in a room and then, put the reporters 20, 30 feet back.
Long-standing mic.
Yeah, long-standing mic. Ask the questions. Do it that way, as opposed. We know the internet connection in the Trop is shoddy at best at times, but that was so it was embarrassing. My goodness, yeah,
at times. But
it was bad.
Let me go back to you wanting to have dinner with Stu Sternberg. That's basically what Mark Topkin gives us every March. Stu, I had a dinner with Stu, and
Yeah.
By the way,
you notice that Topkin always gets the first question. Always gets the first question of a press conference.
He always gets the first question. And yet, my man did not break the story. What happened there?
No, it was a radio producer.
Yes.
For a sports radio station.
Yes.
In Tampa, Zach Blobner, actually.
Yes.
Great scoop.
Great scoop.
Good
man, Zach.
That's not his job to break stories. That's Topkin's job. I thought it was anyway.
So, again, this guy has been writing for the Tampa Bay Times, or whatever it's called before, St. Petersburg Times.
Dude, I think they've changed it 4 times now.
Right, the Tampa. Whatever. Yeah. The point is, we all know. Okay, Tampa Bay Times since 1998. My man, get a scoop. One time, he was behind on the Wander Franco. He's behind on everything that happens with the Rays.
Yeah,
must be nice being a tenured professor.
Yeah, it's really, really crazy at that point. You know what, Ulises? I think the Tampa Bay Times is going to rename itself once again to the Built Bar Times, perhaps.
Well, it's the end of January. Actually, it's already February. Can you believe that? It's February.
Gosh.
And this is the time of the year that people pretty much give up all their New Year's resolutions, but not this year. Because myself, I'm sticking to my resolutions to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you tried the puffs, by the way, Kevin?
I have. They are delicious. I prefer the old school Built bars, but the Puffs, it's a nice change of pace, I'll say.
I got to tell you, if you haven't, people, you are missing out on one of the best Built bars, best tasting bars out there, because the Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, and they're not just a protein bar. They're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Let's remember, too, all Built bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, that's Puffs included. I just said that. 100% real chocolate. So what are you to do if you're Mark Topkin, if you're Stu Sternberg, or if you're Zach Blobner? Well, you go to Built.com. You use promo code LOCKED15, and you get yourself 15% off your order. So again, you use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Let me say something. I don't mean to attack Topkin. I enjoy his writing. I feel like the Rays rumblings, the Rays tidbits that he does is usually gold.
That's not even what it's called, though.
What is it called?
It's called Rays Tales.
There you go.
You've been doing it since '98, right?
There you go. But my man, like, I don't know if there's just a disconnect there.
Yeah.
How are you the beat writer? The sole beat writer, he always gets props first.
He's the press release repurposer.
That's the thing. Like, you can't just have the media be the spokesperson of the team.
It's the transcriber of whatever Cash and the players and the front office
There
says.
has to be a little bit of at least a drywall between what the team is saying and the media. You can't just...
That's why it's such an easy market to play in, coach in, manage in, because you don't have those bulldog reporters like you're going to see in New York, Boston, Philly, etc. It's Topkin and Adam Berry who works for the team, right? Doesn't he get paid by the
MLB.com?
Team? I mean,
more
or less.
The league. So I'm just saying it would be nice to see a little bit more of... I don't want it to become New York or LA. It's never going to.
But it's great to have one rabble rouser.
Can you just have a guy that we just pushes a little bit?
It used to be Gary Shelton, then he took I think a buyout from the Tampa Bay Times, or then it was the St. Pete Times. I don't know, actually. I can't. It might have been the Tampa Bay Times when he exited. I can't keep track.
We should ask Mark Topkin. He would know.
Yeah,
he's been there a long time.
Did he get the scoop though? That was the question. Anyway, okay, we got to move on from this. We got to move on from the Topkin hate. Not hate. I actually do enjoy. I concur what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But can I say this about the split city plan? So I do understand and I do agree that it's a ploy to not have to pay much for a stadium or multiple stadiums, but I do think that if they kept going along with it, that they were at least semi-serious about trying to make it work. And then the pandemic happened. And then the lockout happened. And I think those were the two of the main factors that prevented this thing from moving forward at the end of the day.
Wouldn't doubt it. And in the beginning, you did see a little bit, not support, not full-fledged support from MLB, but kind of like Acknowledgement and like a laissez-faire attitude.
Yeah.
Well,
explore it. You're the Rays.
Let the kids play in the background. You know, if they cry, if they get their knees scraped, we'll be there. But you guys go play over there. And then the lockout, pandemic, something other than that, they were told, kill it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if in these lockout conversations with the players, with the reps and all that, they said, oh, babe, by the way, that stadium split city is crap.
And you
kill it. Yeah. We're not doing that ever.
Yeah.
So if you want us to even talk.
Yeah. Or it's such a big consideration that the MLB would have to move so far in support of what the players want to make that thing go through that the group of owners said, no. We have bigger fish to fry. We can't let this thing hang over our head. We can't have this as a negotiating ploy in their favor. And really, look, the whole thing's a pain in the butt when it comes down to brass tacks. And that's why it also sort of ties into the COVID-19 pandemic is I don't think a player, front office person, owner, I don't think you want to have to be navigating multiple countries. I think we learned that. Look at what the Blue Jays have had to go through. Look at what.
Ask them if that was easy.
Yeah. And so when something happens and you have to deal with 2 different countries and 2 different tax structures, and we've
different governments, not even about taxes, but like how they handle the pandemic,
and how they may handle other things
in the future, right?
So
not only that, Kevin, but guess what? We all know that this would give them so much more money. 2 TV revenues, the payroll would increase, all of that stuff, right? Do you think Jerry Reinsdorf in Chicago, even with all the money that Jerry Reinsdorf has and the big crazy market that Chicago is, you think he's going to be happy that Stu Sternberg's pocketing 2 TV revenues? You think the guy from Colorado is happy about that? And the other owners?
Yeah.
They might say, you know what? No.
Yeah.
No, you keep Tampa.
Right.
Keep Tampa St. Pete. Sure.
And we're going to, in a way that would, if it did work out to where Stu Sternberg and the team was making money hand over fist and they were able to have a bigger payroll and have more dominating power. I mean, then the Rays get even better. And they have they're a 100-win team with a $75 million payroll. Imagine them with $110 million payroll.
They become the Dodgers.
Yeah.
The Rays with money would be the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got the Dodgers who've won 8 out of the last 10 NL West division championships. You'd see that. You'd see that because now they're doing it against the Yankees and the Red Sox without the money.
Yeah.
Now put $100 million on top of that.
Yeah. And Montreal just I never got it, quite frankly. It didn't work in the first place. I would almost be more on board.
Nashville,
split city. Let's try it out. Let's see. Hey, is Nashville a viable baseball market? Is Charlotte?
Let's give them 30 games.
Yeah, at least there's the southeast connection, and you can make that
flights.
Work. But when you're talking about the schools, the taxes, the customs,
the language,
the medical, that and
the language, that would be as insane as that would be, Kevin. That would be as insane as having the Toronto Blue Jays play 40 games in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous when it all comes down to it.
Yeah.
So
what I'm expecting though is, I think it was maybe 2 weeks before this all blew up. There were I think 40 corporate CEOs or whatever that might not even be CEOs, but they have stakes. They all signed this thing about the we support the split city and all that. Very nice, very pretty for Stu. Then 2 weeks later is done. Are those people that said, oh, this is good for Tampa Bay to split, are those people going to also sign a thing saying we want the Rays to be in Tampa? We are going to buy season tickets. We're going to have some stake into this. We're going to maybe have naming rights. Are those people going to say the same thing?
I would hope so.
I would hope so too, Kevin.
Yeah.
I would hope so too.
I would hope so. And look, this stadium thing, it's not going away. It's going to only pick up momentum as we move. As we get closer to 2027, we unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at this, we're going to have to keep talking about it. It's tough. It's tough. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues with the big game this weekend, of course. BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcast, and news this season. And it's not just football. BetOnline has up-to-the-minute info on pro and college hoops, NHL, boxing, UFC, along with live real-time updates of current games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the new amazing offers available for the 2022 season. BetOnline, it is where the game starts. We also want to, speaking of football, remind you that, it's Super Week brought to you by Get Upside. And there's no better place to get coverage of the big game than with the Locked On NFL podcast. Locked On Bengals and Locked On Rams are in LA all week covering the big game. So make sure you tune into those podcasts as well. Ulises, continuing on this topic. I know we're a little bit late to the game on the Split City talk.
I know. People are going to be like, dude, what?
Sorry,
like,
guys.
We had interviews planned, and we
had interviews.
I hope you all enjoyed them, by the way. If you're on YouTube and you're watching this, say, yes, we really did enjoy them. Thank you for those.
I think people did.
I think they did.
How could you not enjoy Colin Poche? How could you not enjoy Logan Driscoll?
Yeah.
How could you not enjoy, who else do we have on
Jack
the show?
Lebowski.
Jack Lebowski. He was fun.
Cody Decker.
Cody Decker was great. Kevin Goldstein.
Yeah.
So many great interviews.
Yeah. No, we had a lot of fun doing those interviews. Yeah. So sorry about, but they were planned already. So I hope you guys enjoy them, but we're back on the banter.
I wasn't expecting that the Split City thing was going like that. It was going to die.
Stu wasn't either.
Yeah.
Stu, I mean, that's one of the things I liked about that press conference which was kind of the politician answer. He was like, no, they never really gave us an answer of why it was dead. They just said it was dead.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I think they told you why, and you don't want to say why. So we're going to have to wait until 15 years from now when somebody writes a book, probably not Mark Topkins. I love you, Mark.
Who's going to write that book?
I don't know, man. But somebody should.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe John Romano. It's really, there's not a Rays insider anymore, quite frankly.
Honestly, I mean, like, it would just be nice to have a little bit more of a oomph behind the media covering this great team.
Yeah. Press release repurposer. That's going to be my new term. Anti-social media. I patented that.
Yeah, you did.
Now, press release repurposer.
I mean, honestly, that's what it is.
That's my big one. Yeah.
Just challenge the team. It's okay. Yeah. You like the guys. You want to have a good rapport, but I mean,
look, there's no such thing as journalism anymore.
That's for another podcast, Kevin.
It is.
Yeah.
By the way, can I just say this before we did put up a Twitter...
That's for our politics podcast.
Oh God, no, never. No, thank you. With this Split City stuff going out the wayside, there's a lockout going on, and I know people really want their baseball, and it will eventually come back.
Yeah.
I should say they want their Major League Baseball. Minor League Baseball is going to happen.
That's happening,
College baseball, you can watch that, I think, in a week or two, at least in the South. Wander Franco was locked up. The Rays signed Corey Kluber. They added Brooks Raley. They'll probably make another big move or two once the lockout ends. Split City, like I mentioned, it's been a pretty good offseason for the Rays, I should say.
If you're a Rays fan, I think you should be on the happy side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of other teams, fans are in the dumps.
Yeah.
Are in the dumps right now.
You want to name one?
I mean, do we have to? I mean, okay, like, honestly, if you're an Orioles fan, you're like, Adley Rutschman better get 100 games in. And he's going to get the Rookie of the Year
award. They're waiting until that. They don't want him to get that Super 2 status. Well, who knows what the,
exactly.
the new CBA and
I mean, what are you rooting for if you're a Rockies fan?
New ownership.
New ownership. Exactly. You're like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I want them out.
The only thing you have going for you if you're the Rockies is let's get Todd Helton into the Hall of Fame. Let's really ramp up this candidacy. That's it.
That's it. Oh, that's sad.
At least... If you're in Colorado, you can enjoy baseball games a little bit more than other states, if you catch my drift.
Well,
with some legal substances, if you will. That could probably make a baseball game a little bit more enjoyable, even for a team that may go 55 and 107.
It might just go by flying, Kevin. Yeah. It might just go by flying.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay, so moving along here, Twitter poll.
Yeah.
Do you think the Rays remain in the Tampa Bay area once their lease is up at Tropicana Field in 2027? We have the poll results.
Okay.
There were 93 votes. 73.1% overwhelmingly say yes, they'll stay in the Bay Area. And then 26.7 or 26.9% say no, they'll relocate. Ulises, I don't know if you cast a vote, but where did you lie on this question here?
I'd lie with the majority. I do think that they're going to make it work. I do think that, this whole branding of Tampa Bay,
this is a prime opportunity to jump on this.
You have to jump on it. Yeah. And there are 6,000 people moving to Tampa like monthly something 30,000 people moving to Florida monthly.
Yes.
Florida, Tampa specifically, is on a Jose Canseco steroid binge of growing right now. It's like Tampa is Barry Bonds' head in 1999.
Yeah. It's
just
really
exploding.
Insane. Yeah.
Just bop, 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 bop.
And let's be honest, you don't hear about, the Rays looking at development plans and looking at locations. Is there a spot in Nashville? Is there a spot in Charlotte? Is there a spot in Portland? I just hear those cities being thrown out. I don't actually hear that, they've targeted this certain acreage of site and they've got these state legislators on board and they've got the county and city commissions not in their pocket, but they're talking. They're
worried.
Talking. They're moving forward to some extent.
I'd get worried when Nashville or Portland would say something along the lines of like, "We've got the money."
Yeah,
it's kind of like what St. Pete and Pinellas County is saying to the Rays, like, "We've got the money.
Yeah,
we can do it here if you'd like." That's when I would get worried about Portland and Nashville. Right now, that's just it's all.
And people have brought people have brought this up too. Again, MLB, the owners want that expansion fee.
Yes.
You don't get that expansion fee by relocating from
exactly.
Tampa to Nashville.
And Tampa is a good market.
And we say Tampa.
Not
St. Petersburg.
Not Tampa Bay. Tampa.
Yeah.
All right. Look it up on your Google Maps if you are a Google Maps
St. Petersburg is not Tampa.
It's not.
ESPN.
Yeah, it's not. And Tampa Bay is not actually a city. How about that?
No, it's not.
Although,
who knows? Maybe, Tampa annexes all of the Bay. They annex like 4 counties.
Yeah.
And it becomes something. But yes, your point is well taken. I agree. They will stay.
I think they do. I think they make it work. I think they find the money. Honestly, this might have been just the thing that Stu and company wanted, which was, look, we're not going to tell them outright that we can afford $400 million. We're not going to do that. We're going to
look. He's a billionaire that's why for a reason. Yeah.
Yes. People are like, why would he? Like, why do you think that he's got billions? Because he's an idiot,
right? Like,
there are very few idiots who become billionaires.
Yes,
very, very few.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Stu Sternberg is one.
I don't think he's an idiot. No.
I don't think he's an idiot.
Look, didn't he take BJ up into arbitration for like $80,000 or something like that?
Didn't he take Yarbrough for $200K?
Didn't he take everybody?
Didn't he take Drew Smiley?
Yes.
Didn't take Matt Duffy? Didn't take Ji-Man Choi? Didn't he take X-player? Because they all go through arbitration, which is nuts. Look, man, I think they do make it work. I think they're going to find the money. I would love it if it's Ybor. Either that K4 site, which is fantastic, or the Adamo one. I don't care. I think Ybor with baseball just really puts that whole area together. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think that would just be another landmark that you could really integrate, as long as, whatever happened with the Trop and citizens being displaced, that you never want to see that happen. So if they're able to do something good for the citizens there, not displace them, but have the stadium there, I think that would be terrific.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, again, they'll be the Tampa Bay or Tampa Rays for a very long time. We have some comments here from listeners in response to this poll. Argenis Rashad says, it's a yes for me. I don't believe in Mr. Sternberg when he says he'll try his best to keep the team in Tampa, but still, I've got hopes alive that something will come up and the team will stay. Scott Nannon says, for the millionth time, owners will not let a team relocate to a potential expansion city. They want the additional $2 billion when expansion comes. Correct. Yep. And then Tico says, I've never seen Tampa this full of people and potential ever. Would be a dumb choice to move anywhere else. Need to take advantage. I agree.
100%. 100%.
I agree. All right. There's again, we're going to be talking about the stadium stuff for a while. It's going to be a ongoing topic for sure. In the meantime, we're back. Ulises and I talking, scatting back and forth. It feels good.
Feels
Feels
good to be
good.
back.
Interviews are great, but it's always nice to have that back and forth, and hopefully the listeners enjoy it too. So thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. Now make sure you make your second listen, the Locked On Bets podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you